guys, so for today's little bonus video, because I don't normally upload on Sundays but this is going up on a Sunday, I wanted to share with you guys my least favourite reads of 2016. So these are just the books that I read this past year that I didn't enjoy so much. None of them are by any means 1-star reads. I don't think there might be one 1-star read in here, but yeah, they all have their good points obviously, and I'm not trying to bash any authors or bash anybody's favourite books. If you love these books, that's totally fine. Leave that in a comment down below, I'd love to know. The first one that I will mention is one that I read, I think most recently. It was Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. This was one that I'd been really anticipating and really looking forward to reading because I'd seen it a lot on BookTube, and the concept behind it sounded really interesting. It's kind of like The Wizard of Oz, except if Dorothy was the bad guy, and I thought I would like it, but from the get-go I just couldn't get into the story. I really didn't like the main character, and I didn't like that she called herself trailer trash at the beginning of the book. Just bizarre. And yeah, it was kind of just like if you went to Oz on Opposites Day and everything that was originally good is now bad and everything that was bad is now good. Mostly I think it was just because I felt like the characters and the story, but mostly the characters, were just really flat. I felt like none of them had like a really standout sort of personality. They felt like, I don't know, just quite like cliched and like stock characters rather than like people with actual characteristics, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really didn't enjoy that one. I think I gave it 2 stars, and yeah, but if you liked it I would love to know in the comments down below, because I know a lot of people really love that series, but I'm definitely not going to be finishing it. The next least favourite book that I'm going to talk about is Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. And this is one that I enjoyed enough that I am actually going to be reading the rest of the series. I did enjoy it. I liked the characters and I liked the plot. I thought it was really interesting. It had me like totally hooked. So yeah, I'm just like putting that out there first. I did actually enjoy this book. There were just a lot of like things that I had problems with in it. The main one was the writing style. I think it just wasn't my thing. Like, I am not really hugely into figurative language, and if you read Shatter Me, you know there's a lot of figurative language in it, a lot of metaphors and similes and stuff like that, and it just like grinds my gears. It's just not something that I enjoy. Also, sort of related to the writing style, in the start of the book there's this thing where there are like heaps of like bits of text crossed out in the start. It's like she'll write whatever and then she'll cross out the next thing to show that it's like a internal conflict kind of situation where she's like thinking something but she doesn't want to be thinking it, so it'll be crossed out, and I just found that really irritating. The relationship with the story just progresses way too quickly, and it's really unrealistic for all the things that are going on in the book. It's like, are you really more concerned with how you feel about this guy than about everything else that is going on in this world? Like, it just is one of those, and I didn't enjoy that about it. But yeah, like I said, I really liked the characters in this and the story, so I am gonna continue reading this series for sure. The next one that I will mention is actually one that I gave 1 star, and it was just because I literally couldn't think of anything that I liked about this book, unfortunately, but that is just me. I think if I was younger I might have enjoyed it a bit more, maybe. Save Me, Kurt Cobain by Jenny Manzer. And I was really excited about this one just for the fact that it's titled Save Me, Kurt Cobain. I thought that it might be something that I could relate to because I'm a huge Kurt Cobain / Nirvana fan, and I knew that it would either be really good or really disappointing, so I'm sad that it was a disappointing one. I just didn't understand the story or the protagonist at all. Just nothing really made sense. Didn't really know why anything was happening. It was just like, what is this story? Like, why are we here? The main character, like, her story is kind of based around the fact that her mother passed away when she was young, and that's kind of like all we learn about her character. Like, oh, and that she's obsessed with Kurt Cobain. There's like nothing else in her life, and like there's no other personality to her character. It's just really weird. She just felt like a really childish protagonist, so it definitely felt more like middle grade than YA. She honestly could have been meant to be like 10 years old, but I think she was meant to be like 17 or something. And in saying that, I think I would have enjoyed it if I was younger. At the same time, I think that the subject matter was a bit too heavy for like a middle grade kind of audience, so I don't know. There was just this continual thing where the main character was trying to relate her situation and events in her life, or just, yeah, she's trying to kind of like relate that to Kurt Cobain's life, and at the same time just randomly talking about how much she loved him and putting in heaps of facts about his life. And when you're someone who is a big fan, that is just really cringy, and it's like, don't waste pages. Like, there was honestly one point where there was 3 pages worth of facts about Kurt Cobain's life. Unnecessary. Didn't add anything to the story. As a fan of Kurt Cobain, I really didn't like this book, and I also think if you weren't a fan, you would just think it was weird. So I don't know what to say. I did a full review on that as well though, which I will link down below if you want to check out more of my thoughts on it. The next book that I will mention is the second to last one, and it is The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. And I was kind of built up in the hype of this one as well. A lot of people love this book, I know, and I can kind of see why, but I just really didn't enjoy it, and I'm definitely not going to be reading the second one. I think it's a duology. Just wasn't that satisfied with it. I think that the world building and the setting was really, really amazing. I think that was really well done, and whenever they would like eat in the book, that was really good. Like things like that, like the whole world building was really, really fantastic. There was also a character briefly mentioned called Roya, so it's always nice to see my name in a book because that never happens. But I felt like the storyline had a lot of holes in it, which to be fair they might have been patched up in the second book, but unfortunately the first one didn't captivate me enough that I want to read the second book, so yeah, wasn't happy with the holes in the story. And the pacing of this book felt really off to me. It seemed so long for the fact that basically nothing happens in this book until right at the very end. And also everyone in the book, like other characters, talk about how amazing and charismatic and strong Shazi is, but she didn't display any of those characteristics whatsoever. So it was like she was characterized through telling rather than showing, but then she completely contradicted all of those things and didn't really seem the way that people thought she was at all. So yeah, didn't like the main character Shazi. Then there's the whole insta-love thing. Not even gonna go there, but insta-love is just a no, especially in this situation though, like especially in this story. It just seemed so wrong. And then also this is another one that was just really heavy on figurative language, which is not something that I love, but I know other people love it, so yeah, this I will link my review down below as well. And then the final one, which I also will leave a review for linked down below, is Tonight the Streets Are Ours by Layla Sales, and I rated this one 2 stars as well. It was one that I was really hooked into, like I couldn't stop reading it, but I really didn't enjoy it at the same time, which is kind of weird. And I have since read The Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales, and I really, really, really liked that one. Like it was kind of like a 4.5 kind of rating for me. Layla Sales, like her writing style, like I think she is a really good writer. I just think the story wasn't for me, maybe. I didn't like any of the characters in this book, and I just felt that the main character was really morally superior, and she kind of thought she was a better person than everyone else, and I just found that really irritating. It came across, again, similar to Save Me Kurt Cobain, it came across more like middle grade than YA, just because the characters all seemed really immature and really young, and I would forget, I was like picturing like 12-year-olds in my head because it felt so much like middle grade, and then they would mention something about sex or drugs or something and I'd be like, well wait. So those were some of my least favourite books for 2016. I would love to hear your thoughts on them down below, because I know, especially with The Wrath and the Dawn and Shatter Me, I know that a lot of people really, really love those books, and it's like some people's favourites, so I totally understand why. As I said, yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on these, and I will see you guys with my next video in a couple days. Thanks for watching. Bye.